Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Charity Griffin and Dante Griffin. Mr. and Mrs. Griffin, you have been together for 21 years, married for the last 2.5, but you do not want to be married anymore. Ms. Griffin, upon your departure, you are seeking $700 for a broken cell phone, and you are countersuing for $1,500 in car damage and $100 for a broken statue. I can't wait to hear about that. But before we get there, Ms. Griffin, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here today?
Your Honor, we're here because I've been with my husband for 21 years. He's my childhood sweetheart, and my husband has been living a double life. One example is, well, Christmas time was coming, so Mr. Griffin called and asked, are you going shopping for the kids? Why are you asking me am I going shopping for the kids? So he didn't come home till 6 o'clock that night, dropping off presents, telling me to wrap the presents up. So he left, he was gone. He didn't come back until Christmas Day at 6 a.m., all distant from me, the children, the kids opening up their present. We give him his present, he just grabs it and put it down as if he was just a body that was there. He didn't care at all. Another example is, my husband, he graduated from welding school. I'm proud of him, happy for him, so I wanted to give him a surprise graduation party. So I tell his friends, the ones that I know about, and when he comes to the house, he's acting like a diva, a male diva. I mean, he's acting crazy, Your Honor, because his friends are at the house. So he said, you want to have a party? I'm going to give you a party. He disappears. 2 hours, Your Honor. Come back and still have attitude, you know, kind of distant with his friends. But he said his excuse was because I didn't invite the people who he went to school with. Who does that? On our anniversary, my husband returns home at...
Hold up, you done find off 13. You done got 13 up. She the most calm. She cool. She cool. She ain't raised her tone, her temper. She got a point, but he ain't even said nothing. God, yeah, bro, they been together since they was 16. 16, and I think he was 2 years younger, so he was 14. That's a long time. That's longer, man, that's longer than most marriages or some of the marriages out here. That's a long time, bro. After, what, 14, 15 years or something, bro? Like, what it... I ain't gonna say I feel like you have to stay. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, but after 14, everything already figured out. I would hope so. I mean, yeah, 14 years, 15 years, that's a long time. That gotta be all they know, unless there's some, you know, side something, whatever going on, but that gotta be all they know. As far as relationship-wise, that's a long time, bro.
11 o'clock in the morning with flowers and candy and balloons. And then he sends me a text message saying, I know you have an attitude. I wanted you to have an attitude, but we're going to start off fresh. We're going to start off new. But what's the problem? What's the issue? What's the issue, Dante?
Okay. Mr. Griffin, you can start with any one of those 3 stories and give me your side of it. Well, you got the Christmas Eve, the welding party,
as far as the Christmas Eve, Your Honor, I mean, yeah, I did my daddy Santa thing. I did take the gifts to the house, but even then, I wasn't even staying at the house much. So when I did take the gifts by, I spent some time there. But even time I'm at the house, she's always invading my privacy. She's going through my phone. She's going through my truck. Even just for one time, I'm staying at the house early morning. She wakes me up at 5 in the morning. She took my fingerprint and opened my phone and went through my phone to check and see what's going on. So after that, she's throwing cupcakes in my face, telling me to get out the house. When she does that, I ask for my keys so I can leave. So she threw my keys out the back door. I go to the back door to get my keys out the backyard. She locked me in the backyard like I'm a dog. So we have a fence back there in the back. She tells me to leave the house, and so she said if I'm gonna leave, I have to jump the fence. Look, I'm not a tall guy. So by the time I find some tires or something to stand up to jump this fence, I jump the fence and get to the front yard. There she is, tearing my clothes up. And not only that, if I'm gonna have a party, if I'm just graduating from welding school, don't invite my other friends. Let me invite these guys that I graduated welding school with. She didn't invite none of them. None of them were there. We already had plans. That's why I disappeared for 2 hours. Y'all left and went to the guys that I just graduated with. But she just tried to go ahead and do the plans that she wanted to do, the things I'm gonna like it. I didn't like it. So therefore I was gone.
God damn it, he right. God damn it. That's what I'm talking about, bro. He went down the line. Boom, 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 boom. We got all three of them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's how you do it, man. Listen, it's not disrespectful. You ain't trying to be, I don't want to say confrontation. It ain't a confrontation, but yeah, I'm going to be respectful. This is my thoughts on that. This is what I think about what you said. And you can tell he wasn't lying. He had too much detail to be lying. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. Yeah, bro. W.
What do you think he's doing when he's not at home?
Yeah, living a double life. He's living a double life. He says that I go through his phone doing the touch ID. Well, if I don't, I wouldn't know nothing. When I did, Your Honor, this is what I found out. I went through my husband's phone. My son's birthday was the day before. I was a little distant from him, so I'm feeling bad.
Let's let Mr. Griffin take a look at that so he have an opportunity to explain what happened there. Just keep talking while he's reading.
It was my son's birthday. So I felt a little distant from him, so I felt bad. So
That's how you supposed to do it, bro. That's how you supposed to do it. Look, he can't read that. My dog don't have his glasses. He don't have his specs, man. He ain't got 20/20. He ain't got 20/20. My dog don't have his glasses. He can't really read the transcript, Your Honor. So we're going to have to ask you to either blow that up on one of these here screens, or this should be inadmissible. This shouldn't even be admissible within the court because it was obtained during an illegal search and seizure. Bro, that's my fingerprint. You can't use my fingerprint against me. That's my fingerprint. No. That's how you do it, though. He played it perfect. He looking at that.
So I felt a little distant from him, so I felt bad. So the next morning I get up, I said, okay, I'm gonna give my husband some special attention. So I said, but before I give him some special attention, let me see all the suspicions that I've been thinking about is true.
Hang on. Tell me what was going on that day. Could you bring me back the evidence that you had?
I don't remember writing it. At that point in time when I did do that text message, I thought it was her. I didn't know who was texting my phone.
You thought it was her?
I was asleep. I was sleep texting. I didn't know. All I saw was good night, baby. I don't know.
Where were you sleeping?
I was at the house with her. I was on the couch.
So you were on the couch, so you thought she was texting you, good night, baby. I'm sorry I fell asleep. Good night. Love you too. Call me if I'm locked out of the car.
I was sleeping.
You thought that was
That's a lie.
Sleep. But she's always going through my phone.
That's
I don't know what she found. Even though I had a friend. I had a friend. The guy used to be my friend, and I found out she done tried to befriend him and try to find out things about me that the lady, you know something about this other lady that I was seeing. Yeah, I told her when she found out I was cheating. I told her I was cheating. You know what I'm saying? I didn't deny it.
That's a lie. You did not tell me.
I did
found out
Once
from
you found
those
out, I didn't deny it.
I found out.
Hey. So you were admitting to one cheat, but you told her about it, and that was it.
Yeah, and that was it. So she tried to befriend one of my friends and tried to find out more information, and this guy was the one that even hooked me up with the lady.
I see the road that we're on. Let's try to find out how we got on the road, who this side chick is, and how long she lasted. So, Ms. Griffin, we understand that there was a side chick. I'm not quite sure how. He says he admitted to it. You say you busted him. You tell me your story, then I'll get yours.
Okay, that night, he was asleep. My husband, he sleeps very hard. So I grabbed his hand and put his hand on the phone, and it came open. The first thing I saw was, good night, baby. I love you. I saw, I love you, and it crushed me. I said, but before I go any further, I'm gonna go to Facebook and see if she a thought. The name matched you know, it matched the phone, well, the number that I put in social media.
Oh, and the pictures led you to believe that
Yes.
she was engaged in thought-like behavior.
But she does that all the time.
She admitted, me going through the messages, she admitted that she's in love with a married man.
Mr. Griffin, do you know the thought about whom we speak?
I know the person that she's speaking about, which it was a lady that I was dealing with, and which, like I told you, when she did bust me, I did admit to it.
But
she always,
Hang on.
she always does this
How long were you with this side chick?
for a few months.
And had you not been busted, would you not have admitted to it, and would you have continued to see her?
I probably would have, but once the time I did get busted, I was relieved of it. I'm not gonna say I was, because I was tired, because it was like you said, I was living a double life. I'm back and forth from this house to this house.
Now, Mr. Griffin, let me ask you a question. How come? Was it just she was available? Had she been running after
No,
you?
she and
Were
I
things
had some-
not good at home? Give me a reason why.
Well, she's just always so predictable. Every time I mean, there's nothing. She didn't change it. Now she looks different. She started to change a lot of things. She didn't do her hair. She didn't do her nails. She would sit at the house all the time. She was just so predictable. There have been times where I wouldn't even have to call home from work and ask her what she's doing or where she's at. Because I know she's at the house sitting there, either taking a nap, playing on an electronic device, or watching TV, or just sitting there.
Okay,
So
I got you. Now, Ms. Gray, does nothing, and I mean nothing, excuses what he did. But what he's telling me is that things just got monotone at the crib, that you were no longer engaged in loving one another, you were just kind of living together. Did you allow the marriage to become mundane and uninteresting, and do you see how that might lead to, though nothing justifies it, a failure on his part?
Nothing justifies it. Just as well as he's saying I was predictable, so was Mr. Griffin. But he's barely at home. He's barely at home. He would rather hang out with his friends instead of being a husband to his wife and being a father to his children. It was just me.
Yeah.
If I talk to him, it's attitude.
Because she don't talk to me, she always got questions.
Your Honor, I can't even ask my husband how was his day.
When, why, where.
How was
she
your
always
day?
got a question. And I'm not the type of person, I don't like to be questioned. You got to talk to me, tell me what you need, I'm going to make it happen.
How was your day?
I think I see what's
Even as far
happening
as
here.
that,
I think I see what's happening here. I want to bring up one more major issue before we devolve into this argument, and that is about how you two address raising your daughter, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. You say he's too strict. Why don't you tell me why you believe that?
One example, Your Honor, our son, he had asked me one night, Mom, can I get a tattoo? He said, I'll get your name on it. No, because we previously discussed one time, you know, while the kids are at home, they are not allowed to get a tattoo. But my son, being rebellious, he did it anyway. Mr. Griffin comes home, he shaves our son's head, not just shave it bald. He had plugs, like 4 or 5 plugs in his head.
He just jacked up his hair.
Yes.
He jacked up his hair. Mr. Griffin, why don't you tell me your version?
Because that's how these kids are. You know what I'm saying? His whole thing is his hair. You know what I'm saying? You know how these kids got the little their hair.
Right.
What I did, even before the barbershop movie came, he wanted to be grown, so I gave him the George Jefferson haircut.
Your Honor.
W parenting, man. You ain't always gotta put your hands on them. You shouldn't be doing it at all, for real. Shit, man, listen. No, this ain't, this ain't that. But shout out to him, bro. Doing it in a more comical kind of way. That's crazy, bro. I couldn't imagine walking around that. He probably was 16 or something like that, still needed his parents' consent. So, yeah, he was probably about 16, maybe 14, something like that. Yeah, bro, shout out to him. I ain't mad at that.
You gotta give him points for ingenuity, don't you think?
I
trying to try something different.
I agree with him, totally.
I want him to go and have this tattoo removed. Because just like he said, he told her about the tattoo before he even got it. So why should he even mention it to me before he went and got it? Therefore, I could have been on him before he went and made that decision, go and be rebellious and do it.
I also understand that there's an issue with respect to your daughter.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Okay.
So I can have an overview of the problem.
Okay, like I said, Mr. Griffin, he is extremely strict. Our daughter, she was on the phone talking to a boy, and Mr. Griffin, he takes her phone, and he also takes the hinges off the door. So she's a girl. I mean, if you want to take something out, just take the knob off. Don't take the whole door off.
Down.
Okay, so I understand.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Griffin. Was there a rule in place that you can't talk to a boy?
Yes, my children know how I am. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I didn't want my daughter to have, contact with boys at this point. So yeah, I took her phone. So as me taking her phone, so if I take one electronic device, why do you feel free that you should go ahead and use another? So I pay the bills in my house. So I bust through the door, and you know what I'm saying, here she is on the iPad, still socializing with these kids, with these boys, whatever. So yeah, I took the hinges off the door. I paid for the door.
Girls gonna talk to boys behind the parents' back or...
Let me say this. I've got no holler for Mr. Griffin because he's a philanderer. Yeah.
Hey.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm behind him on that.
Hey.
And let me tell you why.
Hey.
You set a rule. The rule is what the rule is. I'm one device taken. I wouldn't take the devices out of the room. I just take the plug so you can see the device, but can't use it. Do you see what I'm saying? I've taken out beds, dressers, I've taken doors off. I believe that when you're in my house, you do what I say. I'm not hitting you, I'm not popping you, but I ain't giving you nothing so you can mess up on my watch. You want to mess up at 18? Have at it. But when you in my crib, you go by my rules. I'm feeling him on that. So now we got to get to the money and call this thing a day. Ms. Griffin, you are seeking $700 for a broken phone. Why don't you tell me how it got broken and why you believe he owes you $700 for it?
Your Honor, my husband smashed my phone.
Let me see the phone.
When he believes that me and his friend was having an affair. I did not have an affair with his friend. Did his friend confirm everything that I was talking about? Yes.
I got you. Mr. Griffin, why don't you tell me why you're seeking $1,600, $1,500 for car damage and $100?
Because she scratched up my truck. She also broke my statue. I have a video of my truck. She not only just scratched it with a key, she went down the side of it with a brick. And I didn't have any type of damages on it. That statue, that was
so
something...
all of this is the damage that she did. Do I have a video here? You said you had a video?
Yes, ma'am.
You better be happy.
See, this is what she did. She did one long scratch all the way from the front of my truck all the way to the back. You see the scratch right there? If you follow it, it go all the way. She didn't stop. Then she ain't no regular scratcher. She don't deal with no key. She took a brick. And I guess that's how she got the dents in it. She took a brick and scratched it all the way down there and hit my door with it.
Lord. And the statue, what happened? Oh, she just broke the brother in half.
Yeah, she just broke my statue in half. That statue meant something to me. It came from a dead relative, and I liked my statue. I love my statue. She broke it.
Ms. Griffin did.
Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff, bro. That's terms for violation. Not violation, but termination. That's termination, bro. And violation, to be truthfully honest. Tell Auntie to go handle that. But what I want to know is, who is this right here? Is that her?
Didn't stop. Then
Right
she
there.
ain't no regular scratcher. She don't deal with no key.
That right there, I don't know if that's her or not, but yeah, bro, that's don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. That's not cool. That's not cool.
And the statue, what happened? Oh, she just broke the brother in half.
Yeah, she just broke my statue in half. That statue meant something to me. It came from a dead relative, and I liked my statue. I love my statue. She broke
Ms.
it.
Griffin did all that occur.
I didn't intentionally do it. It was...
How can you... She threw my statue on the hood of my car. It probably got dents in it too.
Because it's a symbol of our last name.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Let me tell you two something. I'm so glad you're getting a divorce.
Thank you.
He is not at all interested in your well-being. He's interested in his well-being. And I hope that you can co-parent meaningfully. And when I say co-parent meaningfully, I mean you have to discuss the issues that you have and make decisions like, not I am the king and my word goes, but to discuss, this is your idea, this is my idea. I know when to come forward and back up. Sometimes I back up and let my husband handle it. Sometimes he lets me come forward and handle it. There are two parents for a reason. There's a yin and yang to it. Don't just bigfoot it. You know what I mean? Two-foot it. So I will give you that. I am not going to give either one of you any money because I am quite sure you both did damage to each other in great store and great extent from beginning to end. And I so hate to reward a cheater's behavior. You ought not have scratched his car. You ought not have broke his phone. I don't know how much it's worth because anybody bring me an invoice. I know it all happened, but I'm going to call it a wash. It was an ugly thing, but I hope tomorrow that you have a better future that involves two people who can co-parent children in a meaningful and loving way. So glad you're divorced. This matter is adjourned.
I did not see that.
If the divorce is what happened, it is what it is. We'll have to just co-parent with our children.
I love Dante. I'm sorry I was regular. I'm sorry I was predictable. But the only thing you had to do was talk to me and not shut me out. We wouldn't be where we at today. You said you loved me. You should have loved me harder. But I love me better.
I was not expecting her to say that, bro. I was not expecting her to say that. I ain't gonna lie to you, but now that I think about it, that key in my car shit, man. Listen, nah, we ain't having that. We're not doing that. That's terms for termination. Those are terms for termination. You throw a break, and then like bro said about the statue, that's probably what that'll hurt me the most. My thing with that is I can get the key, little incident. We can get that buffed out or waxed out, get the dings, then whatever. We can get that. We can get all of that. But the fact that my loved one gave me something before that they passed away, and you did, and you knew, and she knew, and she didn't care about that. That would have been my, and my detailed explanation as to why you got to vacate the premises, bro. But, man, that's just a long time. That's all I keep thinking about is that's a long time. At that point in time, I ain't going to say you got it figured out because I don't really believe anybody have it all the way figured out and they got all of the answers. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't believe that. But at the same point in time, I know you be around a person for 14 years. I know they done picked up habits from each other. They done picked up sayings from each other. They done, 14 years? He know what her goddamn fart smell like, shit, diarrhea, all of that, bro. Like, they gotta know everything. And I know it ain't gonna be all perfect. I know the 14 years or however long it ain't gonna be all perfect, but it's always moments. You always get moments within relationships, and I'm sure that they had a lot of moments, bro. I'm sure that they had a lot of moments, good, bad, whatever. You can take away what you can take away from it, but I'm sure that they did. That's why I was kind of surprised when she was like, I'm glad. And now if she'd have said, all right, whatever, like, I think I'm suggesting or something. But when she said like she's promoting it, I'm like, damn, that's. Yeah, I mean, but does that go to show that time really doesn't matter, or the time that you put in don't matter? If you've been married to her for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years or something like that, but you really just don't want to be, but they seem like they want to be with each other. That's, man, that's the wildest, if that ain't the wildest. It seemed like they want to be with each other. It ain't seem like they was too far apart. Like their logs then, floated to separate. Y'all know the little log game at Chuck E. Cheese? Savannah, daddy miss you. But y'all know the little log game at Chuck E. Cheese where you gotta hop across the log and you and then you get to the green part and then the logs come to you. Yeah, bro. That logs wasn't, they could have hopped back on. I wouldn't have said stick a fork in it. 86 it, get it on up out the window. I wouldn't have said that, but hey, I don't know. I don't know. But again, another thing, bro did get caught up. He admitted to it. He definitely admitted to it. And she was honest about her technique. She said she used the thumbprint to get through. Regular married shit, man. What's the problem? I don't see no problem here. Keep them together. Leave them together. And keep them away from us. Keep them away from the single people, bro. Keep them away from the single people. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that video. GTG, the family as always is love. And we out.